What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another video. So guys, today we are playing the first World Bank mission in Payday 3. We're doing it on Overkill mode this time. We're doing it stealth, we're doing it solo, and we are doing it without equipping our masks. There is one skill that I kind of recommend. This is Secure Loop. This is the second skill in the hacker skill tree. If you have this, you can loop cameras, which is always useful, of course. But even if you don't have this, if you follow this video, you can still complete the mission in Overkill on stealth. For the rest, of course, if you have other skills that you have already unlocked that are useful for when you are doing stealth, you can always use them, but it's not really necessary. The first thing that we have to do is find the inside man. We're going to go upstairs for this. We're going to start on the right side of the building, so when you enter, go to the right. And then before you go upstairs, also check on these tables over here if there are any phones, so that you can take the QR codes, because later on it might be useful. Upstairs, there are 3 offices. These are all possible locations for where we can find the inside man. If he is not there, there are also 2 other offices downstairs, but I recommend that you first check the ones upstairs, because most of the time he will be there. So this is the first possible location. If he is there, then you will just see a person, and also you see a white bear on his desk, so clearly he's not here. When you exit, also check if this is not the manager's office, because this is also one of the possible locations for the manager's office. So right next to the door, it just said office, so this is not the one. But later on, the manager's office can also be in one of the 5 offices that you have in this building. Second possible location is over here. Most of the time, you find him over here, to be honest. This time, he was not here. Also, again, this is a possible location for the manager's office, so check next to the door. Again, it just said office, so this is not the one that we have to find. Then this is one of the possible locations for the server room. This is the next thing that we have to find. Now, clearly, it was just a storage room, so we don't have to come back here. And then we can make our way to the other side of the building, so to the left. You can also just go back downstairs and then use the stairs on the other side, or you can just follow this path that I'm following over here. Just be careful that the guard doesn't see you. And over here on the right, you have a ventilation duct. You can use this to get in the other office, basically, or else you will have to use a QR code, and we don't want to waste QR codes, of course. When you're moving through ducts, by the way, always be careful for the lasers. There are always lasers. If they hit you, the stealth part is gone. Over here on the right, second possible location for the server room. So in my case, this was the server room. And then this office is the third possible location for where you can find the inside man. And this is also a possible location for the manager's office later on. He will just explain some stuff, but basically you just have to take this USB stick and you have to take it to the server room. So in my case, it was just over here. You will have to use a QR code to open this one. For one of the server rooms, there is also a way to enter it using the ducts, the air ducts. But in this video, I won't be able to show that, because that's only possible if that is in fact the server room. Anyway, you can always enter the server room with a QR code. Then you can use these ducts to go back downstairs, or you can just use these stairs. I don't know why, but I always prefer this way. Be careful, there is a laser over there. And then you will drop down in a office, and this is again a possible location for the inside man, and also a possible location for the manager's office. And I could interact with the PC, so this means that this is the manager's office. Most of the time, I think 80% of the time, this is also the manager's office for me. You will see that there are 2 codes. I would say write them down, because later on these will be the codes that we have to put in the keypad. So we will see on the keypad which numbers have been pressed a lot, and then we will know which one to use. Then these double doors, behind this you can find the 5th office over here on the right. And this is the 5th possible location for the manager's office, and also for the location where you can find the inside man. Then we have to disable the metal detectors. So this can either be the metal detectors on the right or on the left. By the way, the 3rd possible location for the server room is over here. But so for the metal detectors, you will know which one it is, because if it's the correct one, then next to it on the wall there will be a control panel or something like this. So for the left one, it will be over there. It's not there, so we know that it's the right one in this case. So then we go back to the right to the metal detector, and then we have to first enable the control panel. Then we will have to turn off some switches, and then we can disable the metal detector. So we had to turn off the green switch. We find one of these boxes, fuse boxes on the wall. We turn off the green switch. Then we go back to the control panel. Now it's the blue one. So we find another switch box. Over here, most of the time, you can also find one. Make sure that no one sees you when you open the switch box or when you switch a switch. You have to be really careful with this because most of the time there is 3 guards, I think, over here and 2 or 3 cameras. So there is always someone watching you. If you have secured loop, you can also disable a camera that is close to the switch. So now the red one that we have to switch, so we have to find again a third switch box. Under the stairs over here, you can most of the time find one. If it's not over there, then also here on the left, to the left of the metal detector on the wall, you can most of the time also find one switch box. By the way, there are more than 4 switch boxes, so you have to do 4 switches. If you do one wrong, then you just have to find the 5th switch box to do the correct switch. I think even if you do 2 wrong, there is even a 6th one, but I'm not sure about this. Maybe after you do 2 wrong, the alarm will go off. So just be careful with this. Always just make sure that you have the right switch. You can always go back and look. So for the last one, so we found 3 on the ground floor. Now we have to go upstairs because most of the time it's only 3 on the ground floor. Then over here on the right, sometimes you can find a switch. Right now it wasn't there. Then also in this office, by the way, if you couldn't find a QR code in the beginning in this office, you can always find a phone. So either on the floor or on this table over here. So if you need a QR code, every time I played this mission, there was always a phone in this meeting room over here. So for the switch box, like I said, either on the left, so on the right actually when you come up the stairs, or over here on the right, just make sure that the guard doesn't see you, and also the camera. But if you open the door from the office over there, then the camera cannot see you. After you have done all the switches, go back to the control panel, and then you have to disable the metal detectors, so then you can go through the metal detectors. Then the next thing that we have to do normally is find the manager's office, but we have already done this to get the codes, and then we have to go back to the inside man. So if you haven't found the manager's office yet at this point, go through all of the 5 offices, and then when the PC glows up when you get in the room, you know it's the correct one. Also, next to the door there is a gold plate and it says manager's office on it, so this way you can also know it's the correct one, but the PC is normally the way I do it. So then you get back to the inside man. He will be in the same office, by the way, so you don't have to search for another one. And then he will give some labels that we have to put on the cards where we will put the money in so that the money will go to the correct spot. So again, he will explain some stuff. If you're doing it for the first time, definitely listen, but you just have to take the stickers and then you have to go to the metal detector. Because the next thing that we have to do is put in the code that we found in the manager's office. So if you didn't write it down or don't remember it, go check back in the manager's office. And then it's a 2-person lock basically, so we put in a code and he has to scan his face, and then the doors to the vault area will open. So we can see over here that 3, 9 and 0 have been pressed a lot. One of the options for me was 3930, I think. So we punch in the code, and then when it lights up green, we know we have done the correct one. But so take a photo of the PC in the manager's room or write it down on your phone, because you don't want to make mistakes over here. So then we get to the vault area, and if I have to be honest, until this point in Overkill it's actually not that much more difficult than in normal mode. It's actually almost the exact same. I think you have maybe 1 or 2 more guards, and then you have the lasers in the air ducts, but besides that it's the same, and it's definitely not more difficult. So over here also watch the lasers. Sometimes you also have straight lasers, so vertical lasers, and then you just have to walk between them. These also shift places. The vault area itself is more difficult. So over here you have more guards patrolling, you have lasers, you have more cameras. But to be honest, it's actually okay. So if you can do this in stealth in normal mode, it won't take too much effort to also do this in Overkill. While with other missions, sometimes it's much more difficult. With this mission, it's actually pretty okay. So just try to get to the back. In the back, we will have to find the blue keycard. And then also we will have to find the PC that will open the vault. Over here on the left, by the way, in the middle, there are 2 PCs. These are 2 possible PCs. So if you cannot find it in the back room on the right, it might be over there in the middle. Be careful for this camera. So I just secured it. So I just looped it just in time, or else it was done for me. This is a secure area. So if anyone sees you, yeah, you're basically done. Unless you can hack the radio of the guard that sees you. But then after this, they will start searching. And if they start searching, it also becomes really difficult because they start to walk everywhere, also near the vault itself. So then you get in this room. On this table you can find the blue keycard. On this table you can find the blue keycard, and then over here next to the PC. And then you also have to interact with the PC. Like I said, the two PCs in the middle, in the back, so where we came from, these are also possibilities. And then for the blue keycard, I always find it in this room, but I think the room next to it, for that one you need a QR code. This is also maybe a possible location. But until now, it was always in this room for me. So after you interact with the PC, there is a timer to get to the vault. You can see it on the top left. Be careful for the lasers. Also downstairs, again, lasers. When you're going down, again, it might be that a guard sees you. So then, of course, you have to start running. And then also be careful for this camera, which almost ruined it for me. So make sure that you can loop it. Or if you cannot do this, make sure that you're hiding behind one of these walls. So put the blue keycard, open the vault. And then I can say that the mission is almost over, because inside of the vault you can just move freely. You just have to fill the cards and then you get out, which is also pretty easy. So this mission, like I said, it's not like other Overkill missions. It's actually pretty easy. If you can do it in normal mode, it won't take too much effort to adapt to Overkill. So put the stickers on the cards, make sure to do this, and then just fill up the cards one by one. I don't know how many bags in total, I think 15 or something like this, so this does take long. Then when the middle part is done, you can go to the sides. So these gates, you have to pick the lock. I was checking for cameras, but nothing over here, so you don't have to worry. And then when all the cards are full, you can go back upstairs. So again, just be careful for the guards. When you're moving up the stairs, if you see that someone is seeing you, step back, because you don't want to get caught at this moment. The escape part is just much more easier if you're doing it stealth. Again, be careful for these lasers. And once you get in this room on the left with the green light above it, then the mission is over, because this becomes private area. And then when you move through the other door, it's public area. So if you don't have your mask on, you can just do whatever you want as long as it's not illegal. So once you're here, then it's public, and then you can just go down. There will be a guard downstairs. He can see you because it's public area. If you have your mask equipped, be careful, but still, you just have to wait next to the truck, and then the mission is over. We have all the bags. Finish this Overkill solo stealth. So guys, that was it. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out my Discord in the description. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and peace out, you guys.
But there might be some fallout. Remember that money laundering thing I mentioned? It seems like we ripped off some folks high up in the criminal food chain. Hopefully, they have no idea it was us.